Welcome to the Accessibility Guide channel. My name is Sean Jordison, and today we're doing episode 4 of making college PDFs accessible. This week's video is going to cover Glendale Community College. Let's check it out. The first thing I'm going to do is open up the Glendale Community College website, and in the search GCC site area, I'm going to type PDF, and let's take a look at some of this content. You know, there's actually another approach we could take. If I wanted to, I could go to a specific department. So let's go into the special programs section. Let's select disabled students, programs, and services. And why don't we check out the DSPS newsletter? We have one up here for summer of 2023. Let's download that file and let's do a brief review. The first thing that I like to start with is opening up the tags panel. And this is what I kind of like to see is some tags in here. We have an 8-page document, figure tag, some blank tags, an H1 tag. So it definitely appears that we have a few issues. The reading order is pretty significantly off for this document. Let's keep walking the tags tree. Yeah, our reading order is definitely off on this document. And there appears to be some issues with the figure tags and some unnecessary div tags in here. Okay, it's not terrible. Let's go ahead and run the accessibility checker. To do that, I'm going to launch the Prepare for Accessibility button and then select Accessibility Check. We're going to ensure that 32 of 32 categories are selected, and let's select Start Checking. Now, from the accessibility checker, there actually doesn't appear to be that many issues. We have some tagged content failed area, some random text in here, tagged annotations has failed. So we definitely have some things we need to look at. Other elements, alt text failed, and some issues with headings. Okay, that's no problem. I'm going to begin just like I always do by launching the auto tag document. So let's select auto tag document. It says this document is already tagged. Would you like to re-tag the document? I'm going to say yes, because this is going to give me a new baseline structure for this file. And let's take a look at the new tag structure. Interesting, we still have a figure tag for that text. We've got an H1 tag with some span tags, newsletter. All right, we've got our text. Bulleted list. So we've definitely got some work here. Let's just jump right in. All right, the first thing that I notice is this figure tag at the top. I'm actually going to select the text, and from the options panel in the accessibility window, I'm going to select create tag from selection. And this is going to pull this text out. And let's go ahead and artifact this path element. I'm going to right click it and select change tag to artifact. And then it looks like the text is a little jumbled up. I have a feeling this document was created in some online tool because the formatting just appears to be a little off. So what I'm going to do is change this figure tag by pressing F2 on my keyboard. And we're going to change it to just simply a P tag. And then I'm going to right click the P tag, select properties, and let's update the actual text. I'm going to say disabled students, programs, and services office, and select close. We then have another figure tag. Let's right click it, select properties, and add in our alt text. This will be Glendale Community College logo, and select close. Next up, we have our H1 tag, destigmatize, educate, empower, Summer 23, Volume 3, Issue 8. That's fine. Our first H2 tag will be newsletter. That's perfect. We then have a table. I don't think this needs to be a table. I would rather this be a table of contents. So what I'm going to do is expand all of these P tags out, and we are going to hold our control key on the keyboard and click each one of these tags, because I want to take them all out of this table. So to do that, I'm going to select Control X, and then select my H2 tag and press paste. And I think I forgot in this issue. That's okay. We can just move it up there. And now we can delete our table tag out. So we have our H2 newsletter. In this issue, arguably could be an H3. And now we have our table of contents area. So this is going to get a little tricky. Let's create a placeholder for our table of contents. I'm going to right click, select new tag, and type in TOC. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine student spotlights and the one inside of each individual tag. So I'm going to cut the one and paste it in the other p tag, cut the 4 and paste it in the other p tag. So I'm combining these p tags so that we can do the next step. Let's move that up there. And that next step is going to be to make all of these TOCIs. So I'm going to select all of those, right click, properties, and change the tag type to table of contents item and select close. And then we're going to drag all of those inside of the table of contents. And if we really wanted to make this even more accessible, we would link this content. So to do that, I'm going to attempt to add a hyperlink here, but I'm having just a little bit of trouble selecting this content. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to select student spotlights. Let's right click and select create link. I want an invisible rectangle. Go to page view, select next, and I'm simply going to scroll to student spotlights and select set link. And that will put in this first link for student spotlight. And if I want the one to be included in there, it looks like it's going to make me add, you know what, that's fine. We're going to leave it as is. Let's go ahead and add this for DSPS means success. I'm going to select the text, right click, create a link, go to a page view. We're going to simply scroll to page 4 and set link. Do the same thing for DSPS in the news. Select the text, right click, create link, go to page view, and we're going to page 5, set link. Let's do fall 23 class offerings. Right click, create link, go to page view. We're going to scroll to page 6, set link. Do the same thing for the next one. Create link, go to page view, scroll down to page 7, set link. And then finally contact, right click, create link, invisible rectangle, go to page view. We're going to scroll all the way to the bottom and select set link. And now we have a properly formatted hyperlinked table of contents. Let's keep going. Student spotlight, this can stay as a heading level 2. We have a heading level 3, meet some of our current and recently graduated students. All right, we've got some paragraph text and we have a photo. I'm going to right click the figure tag, select properties, and this will be Alina Martin and select close. We have another paragraph tag, which I'm actually going to move above the figure tag. And then I'm also going to move this figure tag underneath the paragraph. So to recap, we have a H3, we have our paragraph text, and then we have our figure image. We then have our paragraph text followed by our figure image. So let's right click the select properties and let's add alt text in here. And honestly, we could probably just artifact those figures if we wanted to. Okay, we have a paragraph text, a list item, paragraph, list item, figure tag. I'm going to move the figure tag after that section. And let's take a look at these. Oh, this is all coming through as a list item. Okay, we don't really want that. So I'm going to hold my control key and then select the arrow next to the list item so that I can pull all of this text out. And what I'm doing is I'm holding the control key while I select all of these L bodies because this text does not need to be in a list. Then I'm going to control X and paste underneath my list, and we can delete that list tag out. Now I can hold my shift key, select all of the L bodies, right click the tag, select properties, and update them to p tag. In fact, we could probably even condense these down. So I can just drag my containers into the area above them. Like this one is all separated into several different p tags for some reason. And then you just delete the tags once you're done. And we now have a little bit better tags panel. It's a little more condensed, easier to work with. Got the figure tag. Why don't we, just to change it up, we'll artifact this one because it doesn't add any additional content for us. All right, let's keep going. We have our p tags followed by the figure tag. We're going to move the figure tag at the end, and we can give alt text to this one or not. Let's artifact it. Right click, change tag to artifact, and delete the figure tag. We then have an h2 followed by a p tag with a reference link and an email address. That's perfect. And then again, we have 3 figure tags that I feel like could be artifacted. So let's select each one of the image tags. Right click, change tag to artifact. We have an h2 tag. We're on page 4. h3. And then this figure tag somehow got all of this text in here. I'm going to see if I can simply select the text. Oh, I can. Perfect. And then I'm going to go into the options and create tag from selection. Perfect. To get all of that text out. And let's do the same for this information on the right. Options, create tag from selection. And here we go. Let's do the same for the text on the bottom. Create tag from selection. And what that did is it separated the image out from the text. So now we can right click, create a new tag. Let's say a p tag. And then we can move this content into the p tag so that our image is now separated. And I'm actually going to artifact that image anyways and delete the figure tag. See how easy that was to clean up? We've got an h3, h4, some p tags. We can just combine these into the other p tag so that it's read appropriately. We have another figure tag that can be artifacted as it's not adding any additional content for us. h4, p tags. So far, so good. We've got a couple of figure tags. Let's give some alt text to this one. This looks like Ellen Oppenberg receives William L. Parker exceptional service award. That's cool. Congratulations, Ellen. All right. And then we have our content. This could be an h4. We have all of the paragraph tags. And let's move this other figure to after all the text. Got h4, some hyperlinks. Got an h2 for the header at the top. We've got a blank p tag that we're going to right click and change it to an artifact. Delete the p tag. We've got h3, h4, followed by some p tags. Perfect. Have a couple of images that don't add any context, so I'm going to select the container tags, right click them, and select change tag to artifact, and delete the figure tags out. h4 with some additional information. This one will just be a p tag, not an h5. Again, with the random images, change tag to artifact. I keep pushing the wrong button on my keyboard. All right, h2. We've got all of this content that we're going to make sure our tags are appropriately set up, and they are. So this will be Judy Human. We've got our p tags. They look good. And this is the cover of a textbook written by Judith Human titled Being Human. And select close. P tag, h2, h3. This is looking pretty good so far. We've got another random figure tag with a phone. I'm just going to artifact it. Sometimes I just want to tell content creators that less is more. All right, we've got we have a linked QR code that seems to already be tagged. But I'm just going to give it alt text for QR code. Got figure, another figure. Are these hyperlinks? No, just the canvas is. So let's artifact that one. h4. That does not need to be an h2. We'll make it an h4. And then we have a reference tag That probably is going to be nested inside of a p tag. All right, and we have a mostly accessible document here. Let's go ahead and check out our metadata. To do that, I'm going to select the menu button and then select document properties. And under description, we want to make sure we have our information. So the title should probably be Summer 2023 DSPS Newsletter. Author is good. Keywords. This document was created in Canva. That makes sense. Canva is like the worst. It's really, really poor at tagging content appropriately. All right, so we've got our metadata set. Let's go ahead and save the file and let's run the accessibility checker built into Adobe to see where we're at. All right, we've got a lot closer. We've got some tagged annotations missing randomly. So let's fix that. We're gonna go back to our tags panel and I'm just gonna put these like in the very bottom of the P tag. So in the accessibility tags button area, in the accessibility tags window, I'm going to select the options button, select find, change the drop down to unmarked annotations, and let's search the document. And it found one, it's this little element right there. We're gonna tag it, and then let's tag that one also. Select close. And all that's doing is it's saying, hey, this appears to be a link, and so we should probably move it to the right location. So I'm going to Control X that piece of content, and then I'm going to highlight part of the line and go to my options button and say find tag from selection and scroll my mouse and then paste my link OBJR object. And then let's do the other one. Gotta find it, Control X, and then we're going to select part of the line, find tag from selection, and paste that link object reference so it's in the right spots. All right, let's run the accessibility checker again. Alt text figures missing alt text. Let's right click and select fix. I don't even know what image this is trying to find. I'm gonna scroll out a little bit. Let's see if we can find this image. How random. So let's just artifact that path. Very strange that that list item did that. Let's go back to the accessibility checker and find the next one. I'm going to right click the issue show in tags panel because it appears to be a little bit of, oh, I see. It's marking the bullets as figure tags. That's because this was designed in Canva. All right, let's see what else we got. This one I did just straight up miss. Ellen O. All right. Didn't I just fix that one? Let's mark it, right click, show in tags panel, and let's artifact it. Change tag to artifact page. All right, now let's run the accessibility checker. All right, we have a passing accessibility checker. Let's do a couple of things for pack. The first one I like to do is use print production pre-flight. This one may have some extra problems because it came out of Canva though. There might be some things we can't fix, but let's just see what happens. Once in the pre-flight menu, I'm going to select the single wrench icon and we're gonna type in font and let's embed missing fonts. And I'm just guessing here that this is gonna be a problem based on how this file has been. And I was correct, there was two objects. Under pre-flight, we also need to set the PDF UA identifier. So I'm gonna type in UA and then set PDF UA one entry, select fix, save our file again. Now let's open up our pack tool and let's drag our file over and see how we did. Okay, we've got a couple of issues. Let's see what we got. Results in detail. Structure elements, annotations, nesting of link annotation is not nested. Okay, so this one was on page 4. That was the second link that I moved over from this content. I need to move the object reference inside of the link tag. That will fix that one. Let's save it. Open up pack again. What do we got for structured tree? Possible inappropriate use of span tags. Okay, let's find the first one. First one is on page 4. I don't know why those are coming through as inappropriate. I'm just gonna cut them all out, select them all, right click, and let's change them to P tags instead. And then now the trick will be to find the other ones. we can simply select all of these and move them out of the span tags and then delete the span tags. Let's see, I think there was more. I think it was page 8. Another method we can do, if I go back up to the document tag and I collapse it, hold my control key, I can expand it all the way, and then we can just scroll, and visually I'm looking for these span tags. See, this is part of the problem with Canva documents. Let's open up that pack checker again and see where they were on page 8. Some on page 6 too. I still don't understand why we can't use the possible inappropriate of a span tag. Maybe there's like a role mapping issue. Let's delete out that document role. That's probably what it was. So there was an issue with role mapping where we had a sub tag actually set to be a span tag. To adjust it, I right clicked in the tags panel, selected edit role map, and deleted the role mapping that was causing that problem. So at least now I can determine these subs, which is very random. I'm going to select all of the subs I can find using my control key and clicking. And I think there was some on page 6 too. I'm just going to scroll with my mouse. I saw one. There it is. There's another one. All right, we're going to right click before I mess this up and select properties, and we're just going to change it to span. And I wonder if I got them all. Let's save the file, open up the pack tool, drop it in there again. So close. Results in detail. Structure tree. We've got more possible inappropriate use of span tags. So let's just see if we can move them out. Problem is it's going to take forever because there's no fast way to get these out. Though I could try to speed run it. Somebody time me. I'm simply going to Control X and delete. Part of the problem though is like in some instances I'm not getting the same error. So let's save the file, launch. Let's test this pack tool again. We've got 19 of these errors in the structured tree. Possible inappropriate use. So page 8. I'm going to collapse this document tag back down because it's starting to put too much load on my eyeballs. All right, we're on page 8. Let's expand some of these. Control X, Control V. Wow, this is really buggy. It's like not letting me use my arrow keys after I move this content around. It feels buggy when I'm in here navigating. It's like moving my focus somewhere else. Because normally you can just jam in here in the tags panel using our keyboard, but wow, how interesting. It's like just putting my keyboard out of commission. More span tags. All right, we're just cutting all of these and then trying to clean up the tags. For some reason, all of this got nested inside of span tags. Oh my goodness. With this keyboard thing being broken, it makes this about 400 million more times difficult than it needs to be. But if you've ever worked in PDF accessibility, more and more, this seems to be the norm. Oh, I found the sub. I'm just moving all of this content out of these annoying tags. Oh yeah, other pro tip, don't use Canva, please. As you can see, it makes document remediation a bajillion times harder than it needs to be. All right, let's save the file, retest it, see where we're at. We're getting there. Structure tree, got one more span. Oh, of course I do, and it's hiding somewhere. I hope it's this one. I really, really hope it's this one. And then let's right click in here and open up the role maps again. And I'm just gonna delete these other ones too, because really you don't want to have these role maps. It's very rare situations that you want to have those. Let's open up the pack tool again. Oh, alt descriptions for annotation. Okay, let's fix that one. So let's go to pre-flight. We're gonna type in annotation, and then we want create content entry for link annotations. Select fix, save the file for the 100th time, and let's open up pack again, test this file. Oh, and I got a game of whack-a-mole. First level heading is not in the first level. Oh, that's because, earlier, it's because this role mapping thing messed me up. All right, we changed that to an H1. What else we got? Oh, there's a phantom span tag in here somewhere. And inappropriate use of a reference tag. Oh, it just needs to be nested inside of a p tag. So I don't know how we're going to find this needle in a haystack of a span tag. Basically, it's telling me it's hiding in here. Maybe it's this one. I gotta be honest though, in most files, you're allowed to have span tags. So I feel confused on why it's even throwing me this error. My guess is there's something funky on the back end. I feel like I'm going crazy here. Oh, these need to be set to block elements. You know what? I'm just gonna delete those images. Where are they? So it's the Instagram one. It's this p tag. It's that figure. And this figure. So I'm going to right click the image tag, select properties. We're going to select edit tag, and we're going to open up this dictionary here. Let's expand the dictionary. Bbox array layout. It doesn't have, its placement is set to block. We're going to change it. We're going to change it to inline and select OK, and hopefully this will fix it. Let's actually describe it in this one. So I'm going to right click the image tag, select properties, select edit tag. Under tag element, I'm going to expand the A dictionary, and I'm looking for this feature right here, placement equals block. Sometimes when you have your image set to block and it's also doubling as a link, you get this failure. So by changing it to inline, I'm hoping that it's going to fix it. And then the other error that we had, it was because I deleted the role mapping. And it was like style something. So I'm just looking in the tags panel to try to find that funky tag that is not being mapped appropriately. And I can't find it. So let's just run this again. Structure tree. Oh, there's still a hidden span element somewhere in here. This is wild. This is wild. All right, we're going to try the role mapping thing. So it's style span. Let's right click inside our tags panel. Let's open up the role mapping. Let's see if we can add this in. And we're going to try to map it to a p tag. And then let's do another new item. And we're going to actually map span to a p tag. Let's just see if that does anything. Save the file. Let's test it in pack once again. Oh, and I'm going crazy. All right, folks, I had to take a break before I threw my computer out the window because this problem was bothering me so bad. So it's actually the next day, and let's figure out what the heck is happening with this thing. I'm going to launch the pack tool one more time, and let's test this file. I think I know what I'm going to do. We've got structure tree, possible inappropriate use of a span element. I'm going to take every span element out, and we're also going to find that other issue. So edit role maps. I'm going to delete these role maps out. And this is going to suck, but I'm going to look for every span tag that I can find and remove it. So I'm just going to walk the tags panel, and here's one. Let's delete it. Another one. And we're just going to keep on going. It's too bad that whatever is going on with this is affecting my keyboard because it's not letting me move my up and down arrows after cutting and pasting, which is very strange. But I can tell you this, PDF, the accessibility guy is going to win. I will not be defeated. All right, let's keep looking for these span tags or any other strange tags. Oh, there's another one. We're just going to keep going. It's actually going faster than I thought. I think I've already removed a bunch, but there's always more to remove. Aha, here's a style span. Let's just cut that out of that. And sometimes this is the level of monotony that exists in making a PDF accessible, because sometimes the computer just likes to put these problems in here to test our patience. We have so many span. Cut and paste and select and delete until we get every one of these span tags. It's looking better. We're on page 7. We are getting closer. One tag at a time. I'm going. Ain't no span on me. I think I'm going crazy, guys. sitting in a room by myself, deleting what feels like bajillions and bajillions annoying spam text. I'm gonna have to change the name of this video to be spam. I'm just gonna call it spam. Getting closer, no more. It only took me going through, literally every single container. All right, let's save it, see what happens. Wish me luck, everybody. We did it. This is one of those files that makes me question every life decision that got me to this point in my career. Anyways, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, please take a second to hit that like and subscribe button. It would really ease the pain of working on a file like that. And as always, I can be your personal accessibility expert. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.